Time to go inside the huddle once again with Mizzou's Director of Athletics, Mr. Jim Sterk, for the month of March 2018. And we're actually in spring break week here at the campus of the University of Missouri. I know things don't just stop. It's always moving in the world of athletics, but you get a chance to kind of maybe slow down a little bit and breathe this week?
More like catch up. But it's a great time for a lot of our staff that work on a daily basis with the student athletes that they can sometimes get a break during this time. But as far as administratively, it's a time to catch up and really, we've had a great year so far and we want to finish strong and planning for next year already with budgets and things like that. So it's a process that's continuing, and it is a good time as far as it's a crazy time that we just got through as far as winter sports and spring sports crossing over and postseason and all of that. So it is a time to take a breath, catch up, and ready to finish strong.
Speaking of continuous work, the South Endzone project at Faurot Field is going to continue through the next year and a half or so, and it's been kind of cool to see that landscape change there in the South Endzone portion there. And can you give us any updates on the progress of that project and maybe where we're headed in the next few months?
Sure. If folks haven't seen it, it really was an interesting process and there was video, I think live time video that you could watch, but it was like a dinosaur taking pieces of the South Endzone down, and this week it's cleaning up that demolition because it's completely gone, and then preparing the site for building back up, and pretty soon, I think by June there'll be a construction crane, and that'll be up through the football season, and so people will be able to see the South Endzone really rise up during the season and watch the progress each week that there's a home football game. So that's great, and then I think by spring the outside will be finished, and then they'll really be working on the interior and then taking possession of that by August of 2019.
I love looking at the renderings of what it's going to be like, and we've shared some new ones of those recently on mutigers.com. And one of the things that I thought about the other day, this is like the fourth renovation that Faurot Field has undergone just in the last 5 or 6 years, and it's a special place to a lot of people. And I'd imagine that as an athletic director, one of the things you have to balance is progress with tradition. Every single time you do a project like this, what's that like to walk that line and respect and recognize tradition of places like Faurot Field, but at the same time progress and move forward for our student athletes and coaches and fans? Well,
the good thing, the South Endzone was kind of the eyesore of the stadium, and not many people had fond memories of being in the South Endzone, except we had that as a family area, and we worked with relocating them and for the future, but obviously something like the Block M, you don't touch something like that. That's something that's sacred and iconic to the stadium. And then the red brick that was really started to utilize with the east and west side renovations that took place really make the stadium look really nice, and so that'll be utilized in the South Endzone as well.
The spring game will still take place inside Faurot Field. It's Saturday, April 14th, and that'll be a chance to see Barry Odom's football team again. And what's going to be unique about that this year?
Well, a lot of the way that Barry and the coaches and the student athletes run the spring game will be the same. It'll be more of a scrimmage, but really people will see some live action. But as far as we'll have some the Tiger Town kind of jump houses and things will be on the north end zone. People will be able to renew their season tickets and actually encourage people to do that. I think the spring game is the deadline if you want to renew and get your Drew Lock bobblehead with your season tickets, and so it'll be a fun time and a lot of action taking place. But we'll also have a reunion of the former football players during the game as well.
It's always good to see those guys come back, and it'll be good to see Barry Odom and a lot of familiar faces with so many returners offense and defense, and the way things ended last year with 6 consecutive wins in the regular season. There's a lot of momentum still moving through the offseason towards the upcoming season with that program.
Yeah, and I think people will be interested in seeing, you know, with the changing in the offensive coordinator, how is that going to work and how they run the offense. I know the team's really excited, and the coaches are really excited about the spring and what's going on, but then also for next year, and it's coming quick.
We just found out the other day that Sophie Cunningham is an All-American, and my goodness, what a season she has had, and what a senior year she has out in front of her. But just give me an idea of you know, what you saw from her this year, and what a bright future lies ahead for her and Sierra Porter and everybody else coming back for next season.
Yeah, I think the women's basketball team had a very special year. They were really disappointed. I know the fans were too, and everyone associated, you know, thought we could make a deep run into the tournament, but it wasn't to be. And I think Robin's really dedicated in coming back and really being better and continuing to move the program forward. I think how people cared about it and how people felt about it was setting a record with 11,000 people at the Tennessee game, and being able to do that and have that number of people. You know, we want to make sure and continue to build on that, because I think we can aspire and grow our program to something that is one of the best in the country as far as the number of people attending women's basketball. So Sophie's a great player. She's homegrown and all, but there's a lot of other players that are going to rise up and take positions and play a big role as well.
It was so nice to see the men's basketball program back in the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2013, and Hanzo Martin really has this program on a solid foundation after just 1 year, doesn't he?
He really does, and I like to say he's better than advertised, and really what I thought we could get from someone that had experience, had been really galvanized and forged by challenges that he had both personally and professionally, working and brought a lot to the table as a native of Missouri, being born here and growing up in East St. Louis, having coached at Missouri State and then being in the SEC. All those things combined, he really he knows what he wants to do. He challenges the kids to be better, and I think people saw that this year, that he really grew the team as a product overall, as far as their ability to play defense, to play together, and I'm excited for round 2.
You know, season ticket renewals are going to be going out shortly for women's basketball and men's basketball, and on the men's side, going to be trying to reward loyalty for men's basketball season ticket holders that come back. And how are we going to be rewarding that?
Well, it's the people that renew their tickets will get a cheaper price than the people that buy new, and it'll go up a little bit. The prices will, but people that are buying for the first time will have to pay more, and so we're trying to reward those folks that have stayed with us and want to continue with us, and obviously the growth of the program and the expenses continue to rise. So we're increasing ticket prices a little, but not much for those people renewing, but a more significant amount for those that are buying new.
But people who do renew will have a lower rate than new accounts, and that's great to see, to reward that loyalty of folks who, after a great season in this building, are going to come back next year. A great season's unfolding over at Taylor Stadium. Really think Steve Beazer has that team pointed in the right direction. Historic last 2 weeks, first ever program win over LSU, first ever program win over Mississippi State, and they took that series. When you from afar observe what's going on with that team, what has Steve done to get that program and that team in position to, I really think, make a run to postseason this year?
Yeah, they've been flirting on the top 25 status, and I think that if they can continue that, it'd be really great. I think, you know, he's a special kind of person, special coach. He holds his staff and players accountable, but really takes it another level as far as being a student of the game, and really I know they do a lot of video work where they analyze pitchers so that they're trying to recognize pitches almost as they're released from the hand, and if you have that kind of recognition, it really helps you as a batter in being able to score runs, and we've seen this throughout the season, and the team's only getting better.
And that's how they do it, folks. I mean, if you haven't seen Mizzou baseball play this year, they don't mash the ball, not a lot of home runs, but they're still in the top half of the SEC in offense because Steve has imparted that sort of student of the game mentality onto his guys on the roster.
Yeah, it's I would have loved it as a player and been able to have a coach like that and have the video to be able to see and recognize it, and you want to see it coming out of the box, and there's no one better as far as a teacher of the game.
Meanwhile, across the sports park, we're going to host the SEC softball tournament this year, and that's an exciting thing for everybody in Columbia and with Mizzou Athletics. And why is that important, and why is that special when we get opportunities to host things like that on our campus?
I think anytime you can host the SEC events, help bring high school events to Columbia, and then across the state, where in Kansas City and St. Louis bringing NCAA events or tournaments to the state of Missouri. I think it's important from an economic impact standpoint. Not for athletics. We don't really make any more money from that, but it's bringing economic impact to the city of Columbia, to the state, and that's important. And then brand recognition. I think for us to be able to be spotlighted for 4 or 5 days when a tournament is in town, or in St. Louis, or in Kansas City, or we bring the high school student athletes here for the football playoffs, or in the future cross-country championship coming to Columbia. I think those are things that it just helps everyone, and really it really is a neat to be a part of.
And a good opportunity to show off that beautiful softball stadium over there in its second season, just to the east of the Hearn Center. We've never talked about Karissa Schweizer, and that's unbelievable. But since the last time we spoke, I mean, more conference championships, more national titles, getting ready to go into her outdoor season. So it's not done for her yet. Just what kind of an impact has she had on Mizzou track and field, and maybe even beyond that also?
Yeah, I just think just a great role model, someone that's had more success than any, I think, student athlete as far as NCAA success, any student athlete in the history of the school. And so to win 5 national titles, and I think the only one that could break her record is probably her. She could break it this spring, and so I think it's something that'll last a long time, but I think she can even do more. And she has amazing heart and desire, and obviously the coaches are doing a great, Coach Burns and Halter are doing a great job as far as developing her and the cross country team. You know, for her to help bring home the 9th place finish nationally with the indoor on the women's side is an indication of the impact that she has.
Unbelievable what she has done, what she continues to do. Before we go, I know the dates aren't finalized yet, and we'll have the information on MUTigers.com, but we're going to hit the road for some Caravans here in a couple months.
Yep.
How excited are you to get out across the state of Missouri and shake some hands and kind of send the message out to everybody?
It is fun, and it's a time of those, golf tournaments and caravan events that we have, and I think we're hitting chicken and pickle again in Kansas City, and St. Louis will be there in the month of May, I think it is. So we'll be out and about, and we continue to, with our program, with our ambassador program, throughout the state, connect in each of the counties across the state, and we want to continue to build upon that. And I think it's really fun to meet people and that care deeply about this institution and the athletics program. So I feel very honored to be able to do that.
It'll be fun. We'll see you around somewhere near you in the state of Missouri coming up in the month of May. Check out MUTigers.com. We'll have all that information in the coming days and weeks on that. Jim, good talking to you. I know it's busy. We'll let you get back to it, but we appreciate you swinging by once again.
Thanks, Ben.
Mizzou Athletic Director Jim Sterk with our latest edition of Inside the Huddle.